All right, this is going to be a quick video on some simple troubleshooting or some typical errors that students have right in the beginning. All right, so I'm going to start a new sketch on the top plane. So I click top, click sketch, and it puts me on the top plane. Now, a lot of times when student receives sketches or drawings at first, they start drawing too much. All right, so I'm going to select a center rectangle, and I'm going to start at the origin and drag out a rectangle. And then I'm going to create or draw a circle, rather, again starting from the origin, going out. Now, with these two entities drawn, okay, I basically have an island that is surrounded by one entity, right? So I've got one island here surrounded by a border. Okay, if I exit my sketch and do an extruded boss base, it recognizes the island as something being cut out. Okay, it recognizes the island as having something cut out. So you can create multiple sketches like that. I'm going to exit this and go back into my sketch. Left click, edit sketch. The minute that I add a second island, go into my circle tool and throw in a couple of more circles. Now that I have 3 islands and a border, SOLIDWORKS is not going to know what to do. So if I exit my sketch, highlight it, and go to Extrude Boss Base. Oh, I lied. Okay, apparently it still picks it up. Let me exit that. Go back into Edit. Let me have an island inside of an island. Okay. This I know it's going to mess up. Exit the sketch. So what I have is an island surrounded by an island surrounded by a border. Okay. Hit sketch 1. Try to extrude. Notice that there's no yellow preview. Okay? There's no yellow preview because it doesn't know what I'm supposed to extrude. Even though I clicked on the sketch, there is too much information in the sketch for it to be intuitive. All right? So the one thing that you're going to see different is this selected contours. With selected contours, the blue box right now has sketch 1 in it. I'm going to left click on sketch 1 and delete it from my options. My mouse changes to this little geometric pattern. As I mouse over, it's going to recognize all the different islands or boundaries, and whatever I want to select, it will turn orange for me or red. So if I wanted to only extrude the circles, left click, left click, left click. I'm selecting contours, and I see those contours in my blue box. If I made a mistake, I can left click a particular region that I've selected, delete it from my list, and then pick the correct geometry. Once I'm done, I want to apply my feature and green check. Okay, you'll notice that the sketch disappears and I'm left with the elements that I selected in my contour. Okay, my sketch still exists, so if I wanted to, I could go back into this sketch and pull out some other information. For instance, if I wanted to create a feature from that previous sketch, I click on that sketch, extrude boss base. Again, selected contours. Maybe this time I want to select that particular circle. Change direction. All right, now flips it to the other side. Green check. So now I've got something a little bit different. And I put a hole in it because it recognized an island inside of a boundary.
Now what if you didn't want that hole? You would have to create,
If I didn't want that hole,
you would have to create.
let me go back into Edit Feature. And instead of selecting this, I would add the inside circle as well. And you see that it covers it up. Deselect it, and it's only the outside. Okay, so it's smart enough to recognize boundaries. But the minute you have too many boundaries and too many islands, it's going to get confused and you have to tell it what to do. Okay. So if you see that, that's what's going to happen. The other thing to look for when you're troubleshooting, for instance, if I don't have any sketch selected and I want to do an extrude boss base, you're going to see a yellow warning sign. If you don't read the sign, you're not going to know what the problem is. Basically, this says you need to select a plane or a face or an edge where the sketch is going to be drawn. Okay? So if I'm creating a new boss extrude, all right, I need to pick a face, or an edge, or I go to my feature management tree and I say, you know what, let's use this sketch. I pick my geometry. I tell it to go both ways. I change its distance value. Green check it. Okay, so sometimes you can work with complex sketches. Again, we worked this with that sketch right there. Okay. I would prefer you to create simple sketches and fully define them. Add a feature. Create another simple sketch. Fully define it, add a feature. That's going to be an easier way to keep track of how you build things, and if there is a mistake, it's easy to find.